And we have that big tree that's right outside the kitchen window there at home. And there's a nest of them in there. Yeah. So we get to see them with some frequency. And then Amy and I when Amy came and stayed over that night and into the next day, that morning she went in the kitchen with the dog and she goes, Aunt Tanny. And I came downstairs because we had still had the hens outside at that point, and I said, "Are the hens okay?" And she said, "Look straight out." And I said, and she goes, "It's Grammy."
Aww, how sweet. That's just what a contrast. You have that drab brown, and all of a sudden there's this beautiful red bird.
As you can tell, folks, I'm looking at a little red bird outside my window here at Encompass, which cheers the spirits up. And I look at the little red bird and I say, "Oh, you're so pretty. You're so pretty with your wings flying out my heart and makes me want to shout. You're a beautiful little red bird, a red bird for sure. Your name is Little June, and I watch you make this tune. And you look so pretty, so beautiful. Here it Encompass encourages me to get well. I love you. Take care now, little red bird. Praise the Lord. I'll tell Josephine and Peekaboo I saw the little red bird out the window. God bless you now."
It's got Grammy on it. And so.
You're not filming Tanya, are you? John? You're not filming Tanya, are you?
No, I'm filming the red bird.
So I decided to give the kitties catnip today because they've been traumatized by all this.
Yeah, well, they miss their dad too.
So I have this big paper plates and they get their own plate and I gotta put them at either end of that little cedar hope chest so he doesn't pounce her. He somehow always manages to flip it, the plate.
He says,
And here's the funny part. He is totally cut. You can't. Wow, man. Look at his face.
This is so cool, baby.
Like, wow, man. All right, stop your phone a second.
I'm filming my little Johnny Redbird.
Oh, I'm sorry. Still have myself.
Well, your visitors you need to pay attention to.
Okay.
I know. I got a close-up of the redbird. Here at a place called Encompass Healthcare Center, there's some wonderful people here. In fact, they're all wonderful. But this is a special lady here with me tonight. She helps me with my breathing, among other things. And God bless her and all that she does. Now, your name is?
Julie.
Julie. And she's been working here for how long?
Oh, here just a couple of years.
Just a couple of years.
In the profession for 45 years.
Right.
45.
And I tell you what, folks, I'm blessed to have her helping me because she is diligent, honest, and wonderful, and a Christian lady. And so I want to sing her this brief little song.
Oh.
You are so beautiful to me. You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see? You're everything I hope for. You're everything I need. You are so beautiful to God. And you are beautiful to God in the work that you do.
Bless your heart.
And God bless you for helping me.
Thank you so much.
Now wait just a second. This is going to be interesting if it'll work. You see the guy that was singing the song, and that's called me, with my air mask on. Thank goodness it keeps me alive. And you can see, now that's a little strange and a little hard to sing, but I did pretty well, didn't I?
You did fabulous. You sounded wonderful.
We got to have a little fun in life, don't we?
Yes,
I can't wait
yes.
to show my wife this.
Bless her. Yeah, I remember your wife.
Oh,
She's a lovely person.
Wonderful. Best move, the smartest move I ever made in my life.
She's a lovely young
Yeah. Well, you take care now.
I've got one more breathing exercise. or
Oh,
something.
have you? Okay, well, take care.
I'll be back. honey.
Bye-bye
Thank
now.
you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So you demanded, President demanded, that we have most favored nation drug pricing, which he explained beautifully. Today, you can now get access to these discounted, steeply discounted prices. All the hard work the president and the administration have done now is yours, but you have to go check TrumpRx.gov. So if you have access, please log on right now. It's free. You get to look at all the prices, and you should not be buying drugs anymore going forward without at least checking to see if those medications are available at these discounted prices on TrumpRx.gov. That stated, Mr. President, many people don't appreciate this, but one of the most special things you've been able to do, besides negotiating these kinds of deals, is bringing wonderful people around you who can actually fulfill the dream of making drugs accessible so Americans no longer suffer that affordability issue. 1 in 3 Americans are turned away from the drugstore. They can't afford the drugs. No more. Our most vulnerable are protected. To do that, you need brilliant software engineers. And Ed Korstein led a wonderful group that you hired. Folks, again, would never normally have come into government to work to make this possible. And Joe, just a superstar, and he's going to take us through the website.
Thanks, Dr. Oz. Mr. President, I've launched some big websites, and this is one I think you're going to be very proud of. So you mentioned Gonalef. I think this is an interesting drug that we can check and see how do you find a drug on the site. So we'll pull up the website here. This is TrumpRx.gov. And I'm going to start at the search bar where I can search by the drug name. So I type in Gonalef, and I see it auto-completes.
Yeah.
When I click on this, I have a beautiful page that...
Yeah.
We'll have more news in reaction to Trump RX in a moment,
Okay.
but we now have Fox News alerts of Anna Guthrie's brother,
Oh, good.
Cameron, just posted a video on
Oh, good.
Instagram moments ago.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate.
Let me ask you, what's your name now?
But first, we have to know.
James? Hang on just a second, let me get you on here.
And we are
Yeah, what are you going to be
Joining me
doing?
live from Tucson,
name's James.
Arizona,
I'm a
is
student.
Paul Morrow,
I'm a
Fox
nurse
News
tech. I'm gonna be
contributor,
helping
former
out doing
NYPD
Oh, are
inspector
you?
Paul.
basic daily living tasks.
Well, God bless you. Thanks for your help.
No problem.
And glad to have you on the staff with us, helping me out.
Well, that's not a problem at all. Thank you for having us.
Well, God bless you. Take care now.
Yes, sir.
And this takes it up a notch of something so intensely serious and grave already.
Yeah, Laura, and what he's doing very clearly is re-emphasizing the message that was delivered yesterday in that first video, which was, if in fact that ransom note that came in by email that we've all heard about, that went to TMZ and some of the local outlets, not the one for which somebody was arrested today. That was just a tag-along of somebody who was trying to make a score. But the one that the FBI is pulling at and the task force is working, that did not include any protocols to communicate with the kidnappers. And so if you're sitting where the family is, you're saying to yourself, even if we want to pay, and I think that's the subtext here, there's no way to set up an exchange so that they know they can get their mother back, which of course is part and parcel of any kidnapping. And you see this in the ransomware world. There's special protocols to set up that you can speak so that the perps don't reveal who they are and where they are. These people have not done that, and I think it undermines the potential genuineness of this ransom note that came in by email.
Yeah, Paul, at first we thought it was perhaps another hoax after they're clearly prosecuting those who seek to try to benefit from this in a sick and twisted manner. They've already, they're already prosecuting one individual. I'm sure there'll be more. But there must be an indication that beyond just the Apple Watch, that there's something here. And the significance, something you've addressed, of authorities not revealing how the kidnappers got into that home.
Tragedy here.
I don't think that can be overstated. That is very important.
It is, of course, and there's an interesting point that came out today in the press conference. The sheriff backed away the idea that there'd been forcible entry, and that's a bit of a 180. And I'm going to tell you why I find that significant, Laura. They initially said that they got DNA and that they sent it off for a very rapid-fire analysis, would take 12, 14 hours to get back. And I asked the question today, are you using that DNA to do genetic genealogy investigation, as they did in the Koberger case, to try to get a relative or something like that? And I got kind of a shaky answer. My point being, I don't think the DNA is panned out. They didn't get any alien DNA. I think they would have gone to that, just like we were told unequivocally that there's no video. And, I hate to be a damper, but let's remember something. Very casually, they let slip today, that is, the sheriff said, one of the things we're going to be doing is blanketing the area with billboards. If you thought you were going to get video, if you thought you might be working a good piece of DNA, if you thought you had a good digital lead or video lead from cameras relative to a car or something, we should be going to billboards. So I found that somewhat dampening, but I don't want to be a killjoy. I want to say, I do think that they will solve this, but of course it's a matter of time here because of her illness and her age.
Yeah, there were a number of things that were said at this press conference that, and again, you're the expert here, but that sounded curious to the layman, the laywoman. And one of them was when the sheriff conceded that he didn't get to the scene until late in the afternoon, or almost 7 p.m., I guess. But he didn't realize, it may be relevant, right, to who the suspect is. He didn't realize that it was Savannah Guthrie's mother until late in the afternoon. And he's receiving, it's easy to be an armchair critic and so forth. He's receiving a lot of criticism, or the Pima County Sheriff's Office is. I would like to know your reaction to the timeline of the authorities and the securing of the scene, etc.
So it may have come over to him like just an elderly missing. And so if there were people there, that is his people there working the situation, and they didn't realize the significance of who she was, they might have been thinking, well, you know what, it's an elderly person, maybe she wandered off, we're going to canvass for her, maybe we got a missing person. It wasn't until they figured out a couple of things, maybe you see the blood droplets on the front of the house, they put the connection together to Savannah, that they really started to ramp up and realize, hey, we very well may have something worse. And then, of course, the Ring camera from the front of the house is ripped off, and various other things that we've heard about, maybe something broken inside the house, maybe began to coalesce for them later in the day when they realized, hey, this is not a garden variety missing. But I think the underlying point is, it's very hard to consider that this would be non-targeted. The chances, it's not like the house screams wealth. It's a nice house, it has a pool and all of that, but it's not, the chances of it happening like just, okay, they were going to do a random burglary and it turns out to be Savannah Guthrie's mother, that's pretty remote. And so you have to think targeted, somebody who knew the target, somebody who knew the area, someone who had done some recon, and that argues to me something more localized than some of the theories we're hearing.
Yeah, I mean, again, the fact that the FBI is big presence in Tucson. I mean, there are a lot of missing people across the United States every week, and there's a huge FBI presence. And knowing President Trump, and he's doing this big RX event tonight at the White House, but knowing President Trump, I could imagine him watching the press conference, the first press conference, and getting really frustrated. Because I think that the information provided was unclear, whether it was targeted, not targeted, entry, forcible, not. And it's being described tonight in a place like the Daily Mail as bumbling. And he really likes Savannah Guthrie. And I just think he was like, this is ridiculous. We've got to get professionals in there. I mean, that's how I'm reading this. Maybe it's wrong, but it seems to me that at the outset, this could have been handled a lot better and perhaps with a quicker result.
Well, one thing I would say is that certainly the messaging could have been better. It's hard to see behind the scenes. I would just say this, Laura. We had the same kind of reaction, or many people did, relative to the Koberger case, relative to the Tyler Robinson case, relative to the Luigi Mangione case. Two of those pieces are still innocent until proven guilty. But we all want the instant gratification. Sometimes the messaging isn't great in these situations. Maybe it's law enforcement that's not used to dealing with such a big case, although they've had big cases here. But I get the impression they got their legs under them now, and they're really searching hard for something they can pursue. This is where the FBI is going to, I think, be so crucial, because it's going to be digital stuff. Did something hit her Wi-Fi? They're going to be looking going backwards, not just the night of. You got to see, was somebody in there shouldn't have been? Was somebody in there a lot? Was somebody stalking Savannah? There's a lot of digital work, and what you can do now, the Bureau can do now, is they have AI capacity. And you can cut down by weeks the amount of work you would have to do, the real footwork. And so I'm still very hopeful, as I said in these other cases I've name-checked. They're going to get there, but it's a matter of time because you have this elderly woman.
Yeah, and
And the bottom line is that healthcare costs have gone up significantly. Drug spend growth has gone up as the biggest proportion of increase in healthcare spending. And it's because the complexity in the system, that was an attempt to try to lower costs, failed. That experiment failed. That was called Obamacare. And what you have now is a system that is so complex that it has enabled middlemen to come in and siphon billions of dollars out of the system, really taking that money from the backs of everyday American workers who have their health care deducted from their paycheck, where they come in and they can't afford something because their copay is too high. You'd be amazed how many drugs, when you get the cash price and you can buy direct, the cash price is actually lower than the copay.
Well, we're actually going to have drug prices that are more on par, and in some cases with European and South American drug prices, which are markedly lower. And you travel, you're like, what? How is this? And we were subsidizing it. That's what the president said. That's over.
It's been the great American ripoff, and nobody was bold enough and had the fortitude to take it on until President Trump. And he charged Dr. Austin, our entire team, to do what's best by the American people and don't worry about the special interests. And so that's what you saw. And now you can bypass the money games, the pharmacy benefit managers, and you can buy your drug around.
They're the
You're going
worst.
to see this expand.
Yeah, well, the vertical integration of all this has been a disaster as well. Marty McCary, always great to see you from the beginning. We're actually going to keep. All right, Marty, we're going to stay with you. I'm getting lots of different information at one point in time. So I went on the website. I watched, was that Joe Gebbia who was launching it with you guys at the auditorium? So he's unveiling it. And then I hear the liberal media, who already, of course, they were getting ready for this, to trash Trump RX from the start. Check this out.
This is another example of President Trump.
Oh, shame on you, buddy. Quit attacking the president when he's trying to help people. Shame on you. And shame on CNN for doing it.
Fooled by this. Trump RX isn't fooling, and it's shown in the polls.
First of all, he sounds like a Muppet, total Muppet situation. Second of all, he's one of the most hateful, vile people out there. But it's just a game. It's a deception game. It's a deflection game. They complain about stuff. You guys are rolling up your sleeves to get it done. I'm sure it's not perfect. Nothing's going to be perfect. But my goodness, what's their solution? What is it?
If you love corporations, if you love the swamp, if you love the special interests, if you love middlemen stealing money out of the system, then Trump RX is not for you. But if you want to see radical reform, this is healthcare reform. If you want to see prices come down by 80, 90%, not 1 or 2%, then this is the path we've got to go. Simplify healthcare, make it available direct, empower people with money to make purchases, and do common sense things. The president has impeccable instincts, and people in health policy have missed this giant blind spot for a long time as they've talked about tweaking the system. We don't need to tweak the system, we need to fix the system.
Right.
So that's what you're seeing here today. You're seeing it with the food pyramid.
So that's what Donald Trump is and his staff. They're fixers. They're doers.
Nausea medication. We're seeing most favored nation status pricing. We're the largest purchasers of drugs in the world. We deserve the best price, and people are going to get the best price in America.
I want to give you a little tidbit, Dr. McCary. In 2016, I think this was February, it was a snowstorm in D.C. So a number of us went up to visit Trump, candidate Trump at Trump Tower. One of them was Dr. Ramin Asqui, who brought a sheet all about most favored nation drug pricing. And, candidate Trump, he had not thought about any of this. So that was the first time, I believe, he was introduced to this idea. And Ramin Asqui is no longer with us. He had an aortic aneurysm. But he actually was the one who initially brought this to him all those years ago. And I know he's watching us. So, Dr. McCary, you've been phenomenal on this. Thank you very much. And coming up, missing for days without life-saving meds. Now, why every hour matters in the search for Nancy Guthrie.
I appreciate Tom Holman and President Trump turning down the heat, but they want to go back. What do Democrats want to do? They want to go back to the policies of Biden. Hell no, we're not going to go back. If you want to reform ICE, great. I want a vote to end sanctuary cities forever. Donald Trump understood this in 2016. 12 states refused to turn over criminal illegal immigrants to the federal government for deportation. That's why they call sanctuary states. Until you fix that, they're going to keep coming forever. So to any mayor or governor who refuses to cooperate with the federal government when it comes to criminal illegal immigrants, you should go to jail.
That's right.
And this is what this debate is about.
Good, I agree with you.
It's about trying to restore your sovereignty. Judicial warrants. That's a joke. If you had to get a warrant for 15 million people, nobody would be deported. This is an administrative action by the President of the United States. You're not entitled to be here. We can administratively send you out. They want to go to a federal judge, which means to me, they don't want to do a damn thing. Sanctuary Schumer. I worked with Chuck Schumer before on rational immigration policy. Why has he become Sanctuary Schumer? He's afraid of losing his job. AOC and all these liberal nut jobs have taken over immigration. They obliterate your border. They could care less about fraud. And Chuck Schumer is Sanctuary Schumer because he's job scared. I want to vote on the floor of the United States Senate. I want every Republican Democrat to vote as to whether or not we should eliminate sanctuary cities. If we don't, we'll never end the fraud. How can you help? You can pray. If the Republican Party is wrong with God, no amount of money will help us. You can volunteer. You can make phone calls. You can knock on doors. But you can give. I've been outraged twice in the last 2 quarters. They're killing us money-wise. I'd rather have $10 from 1 million people than one guy give me $10 million. Please go to LindseyGraham.com tonight and give what you can and do it every month until the election. There are millions of people watching. If you can give $10, $20, whatever you can give, I'm going to take half that money and give it to my fellow Republicans to hold the Senate. If we hold the Senate, we get judges through. If we have the Senate, I'll be Judiciary Chairman in 27, and we'll give it. Be rational. We're going to work to turn down the temperature, but we're not going back to Biden policies. LindseyGraham.com.
So they want to institutionalize aiding and abetting lawbreaking and take it a step further, and obstruction. And then they want to reward those people that broke laws with your hard-earned tax dollars and benefits, right? Healthcare, education. It's a total bullshit. I don't stop it. Let me stop it. Let me now they don't even want any election integrity. Let me put up on the screen the poll. Because the idea that voter ID, it is universally, look at this, African Americans 76%, Hispanic Americans 82%, white Americans 85%, Democrats 71%, Republicans 95%. It crosses all demographics. So why would they not want election integrity? Why? They really don't care about minorities voting. Georgia has tough vote laws, and minority African Americans voted in the larger numbers in Georgia. What they want is to cheat. They want to make it so you can cheat. That's why they oppose it. They want sanctuary cities. Help me, help you. LindseyGraham.com. We've got to fight back. We're getting killed on the money side. Help us.
Obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, but it seems to be like Milwaukee's probably going to draw something up for a full court press on the defensive end. What do you think's going on?
Yeah, I think at least a token press to slow down Northern Kentucky, but I think the Norse are going to use a lot of this shot clock here. It's all about getting quality shots for the Norse here on this possession. If you're Martin Lundy in that huddle, it's all about getting one stop and securing a defensive rebound.
Milwaukee, losers of its last 3 and 6 out of its last 7. So they are
Great to watch Northern Kentucky University playing their game ahead by 1 point, I believe. Close game all the way through. And then last night I got to watch UK win a game by 2 points.
Trying to get off the shine here. That's all that it comes down to late game execution. We see the press here going on by
62 to 63, Kentucky 63. Hang in there, boys.
43.3 left to go. 1 point Northern Kentucky lead with the ball, and they got to go to the length of the floor. Elliott gets it back from Wells, and now he'll hand it to Berezker. The pressure will fall back into the half court. Northern Northern Kentucky. Are you playing the timer today?
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Leah. I am going to take you to group therapy this morning.
Group therapy?
Yes.
Can you wait just a minute? The ball game's almost over.
Is it almost over? Okay, I can come back in a minute. No problem.
Come back in a minute. Northern Kentucky's ahead by 1 point.
Oh, wow.
15.2 left, but it's still a one-possession game. Big time shot there by Dan Goretzka. Struggled on Wednesday, responding here with the biggest puck of the night, a fadeaway post shot. He didn't play his best game at Milwaukee either, with a whole bunch of friends and family in the crowd either, so I'm sure that's something he's wanted to prove, because I'm sure he felt like he's a guy that should have been recruited by Milwaukee. He's not from very far away from there.
Norseman.
He's doing that tonight, 22 points.
Proud to be president of the government there. Student government back in 1968 when we got the 4-year college authorized. Art Schmidt, state representative. Ken Harper played a role, and Phil King was one of the leaders. Phil King and Kenton County state representative. And Governor Louis Nunn was the governor. They passed the legislation and established the 4-year college of Northern Kentucky, which became Northern Kentucky University. Praise the Lord. I gathered some 3,000 signatures to help get it done. Then was president of student government and founder of the Young Friends of the Arts with Louis D. Fillet and our president of Larry Harwitz of the University of Cincinnati, Young Friends of the Arts. I went on to finish up my last 2 years down at UK and graduated from there in 1970. Went on to be superintendent of education for the whole state of Kentucky in 1992. We got the ball back. Fantastic.
With 2.7 seconds left.
65 to 62. 2.57 seconds. 2.7 seconds left.
5-game losing streak. It's a steal out front. Milwaukee puts the ball in the hands of Dixon. Derbyshire sticks on him on the perimeter. No room to go, and it's O'Day who comes in as the secondary defender and gets that swipe steal.
Fantastic. 66 to 62.
So Day makes the first free throw at 66-62, and still a two-possession game now with 2.7. And that'll do it. Northern Kentucky will come away with a victory to snap a 5-game losing streak in a very important game here as the Norse end up defeating Milwaukee in a dogfight by a score of 67 to 62 here in Truist Arena. A big-time win for the Norse, a big-time defensive play by Donovan O'Day, and a couple of free throws to ice it, and a much-needed win for Northern Kentucky as the Norse improved to 15-11 overall and 7-8 in the league, snapping a 5-game losing streak.
Good game, fellas.
Darren Horn is approaching Big Daddy Dave, David Wassler, and he's
Trailed
going to
with
take
Dr.
it away
John
now.
Stephenson.
How are you
Praise the
guys
Lord.
able to pull it out tonight?
You know, it was just really good to see on that last possession. We gave up 3 threes late, not doing what we're trained to do in those situations defensively. That was an unbelievable defensive stop. Not only to stop them, but to steal the ball, to seal the victory. Really proud of our guys for responding.
Dan Goretzka was basically unplayable against Green Bay. How did he respond here tonight?
You know, I thought he showed a lot of toughness. You know, Dan's a guy that when he focuses on the little things like defending and making plays for others, we know how gifted he is offensively. Thought he did a terrific job of those things tonight.
Coach, congrats on your 300th win. Back to you, Brady.
Able to say that, David Wassler, 300 wins for Darren Horn, long awaited, and it's a great job there by Coach Horn and the Norse. They win it 67-62. It was Dan Goretzka with 22 points to lead the way for all scorers. Fans, for my partner David Wassler, our executive producer and engineer, Bill Farrow, producer Andy Edwards,
traveled with Dr. John Stephenson. Great to give you the little part of the game here. I just loved it.